YouTube family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I should go ahead. Tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, fam, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, fam, let's get this episode rolling. So look, fam, if you guys have not seen the review I did on my Fowler Vanta 9, you gotta go back and check it out, fam. I have said many times that when it comes to the aesthetics of a gun, I don't know. Maybe Infinity makes a better looking gun, and maybe somebody else, but it's a very short list. I feel like aesthetically, Fowler makes some of the most attractive. The Vanta series is arguably one of the most attractive series of guns out there, whether it's all black the way I have it here, or whether it's an FDE, and you add that new Valentine grip. I just think it takes the gun to another level, right? If you saw the review, I'll put up what the gun scored, but it was very high. And I told you guys, the gun shoots so smooth. I think they do a really good job over at Fowler. Now, recently Fowler's, taking a couple shots over the bow because they utilize a third party for some of their parts, which I don't care. Atlas is supplying parts to half the industry, so I wouldn't care that Fowler used somebody else's parts for their gun. But I think because the gun isn't 100% manufactured in-house at Fowler, people are taking shots. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Fowler designed the gun. They put their name out on the gun. They put themselves out there. Whoever. I won't say who the company is that they're working with. So I'll just say that combination is a winning one. Because this bad boy runs. Now, I'm a member of the Fowler Discord, so I get to spend some time around guys who are really enthusiastic about Fowler. And what they've all told me is that they feel Fowler should be right up there with the best of the best, right? So I told you guys at the time when I did the review, I was going to run this gun against a lot of the field. And so this is part one of that. I took some of what I consider to be the better kind of mid-tier firearms, and I wanted to see how the Fowler stacked up to those. So as you see in the intro, fam, we took out the Legion Precision Chiraq, which I think aesthetically is a very well done, and it's more than just aesthetic. The gun is a really good shooter. I have consistently said that the gun is feature rich, and you are getting a lot at the price point. Particularly when I bought this gun, it was $3,500. And so now their prices have gone up a bit. I think they're coming in at about, the Chiraq is coming in around $4,500. But the Fowler is a $6,000 gun. So number one, is the Fowler better? And number two, is it $1,500 better? And compared to what I bought mine for, is it $2,500 better? Let's talk about it. I also put the gun up against the Race City Defense RC9. I told you guys, fam, the RC9 is not for play. Race City Defense does a phenomenal job with their firearms. And this gun scored really high. I'll put up the score. It was very comparable to Fowler in terms of score. And so, but from a price perspective, about $2,000 less than the Fowler. So again, is the Fowler better? And if it is it $2,000 better? Let's talk about it. All right, fam. Next up, I put the gun against my upgraded Staccato XC by Vulcan Machine Works, where we added a metal grip onto the gun, added a red dirt trigger. Of course, you guys know that the Staccato P is super duper flat shooting, right? Very well machined. It does a great job. Now, this gun is $4,500 out of the box after you upgrade the grip module and the trigger and other things that I did. You're probably talking about a comparable price to the Fowler. But how do the ports compare to the comp? How's the shootability of the two guns? Again, which one is better? All right, fam, last but certainly not least, I put the gun up against my Combat Precision GT Darkhorse, done by Chris James. Comped and ported, just an amazing firearm. Prices are somewhat comparable. So let's find out which one is better out of these two heavyweights. All right, fam, let's start off with the Chiraq versus the Fowler. Here's what I would say, that the manufacturing fit and finish on the Fowler, I'm going to say it's better. They just do a phenomenal job. I feel like the Chiraq is an outstanding gun. And like I said, I feel like the Chiraq is feature rich. It's crazy accurate. Here's the thing, fam. The difference between the Chiraq and the Fowler is not miles. Don't get it twisted. Not miles. The Fowler is certainly a little bit better machined. I feel like fit and finish is a little better. I feel like both of them are equals in terms of accuracy on the gun. Shootability, I feel like the Fowler is a little bit better. I feel like their porting system is a little bit better. The gun shoots a little bit flatter. But again, to me, the fact that Fowler being at about $6,000 and the Chiraq $3,500 when I bought it, $4,500 now, is this gun $1,500 to $2,500 better than this gun? No, it's not. It's not. But you know, a lot of times I don't like bringing value into the mix because I feel like that is very much dependent upon where you stand, where you place value at. But I would say of the two guns, the Fowler is better. Better gun, better value. All right, fam. Next up, the Staccato XC. I'm doing this one next because it's a little bit unfair. I haven't done jack to this Fowler. Threw an optic on it, threw a light on it. That's it. That's it. This gun has been significantly upgraded with that trigger and the grip module. If I were comparing these two like right out of the box, there's no doubt that the Fowler is better. Again, all metal construction, better machined, far better trigger. Although the XC stock trigger is good, it's really good, it's not this. It's not this. I feel like both of them shoot incredibly flat. The XC comp is one of the best comps, in my opinion, out there on the market. Now, when you add that red dirt trigger and the grip upgraded grip module to it, okay, now I still feel like the Valentine grip is better. Look, the Valentine grip, fam, on this Fowler, if you guys have a Fowler now and you're not gonna buy another one, you got the Fowler, and somebody asked me, should we upgrade to the Valentine grip? The Valentine grip is like a warm hug. It's like a warm hug in your hands. Better than the Vulcan grip, for sure. So look, fam, I think from a shootability perspective, these two guns are kind of neck and neck the way you see them here. Out of the box, there's no doubt the Fowler is better. But just all around craftsmanship, I just think the Fowler is edging out the XC. Although the XC is in striking range. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you took an XC and did what I did to it, you're going to be right at $6 grand, or you can pay $6 grand for the Fowler. I'm probably buying the Fowler. All right, fam. This next matchup I think is noteworthy, right? The Fowler runs about $6 grand, as I mentioned. The Race City Defense 9 runs at about $4 grand. There is some shared DNA between these guns, although Race City 100% manufactures their guns. If I had to choose between the two, it would be tough, fam. I'm not going to lie. This Race City Defense gun is awesome. Awesome. The porting job that they do there is just as good, if not better, than the Fowler porting system. Very good, fam. Very good. I do think maybe the overall machining on the Fowler, like the feel of it, is maybe a little bit better. Fit and finish is maybe a little bit better. Triggers are comparable. Look, fam, if I had to give an edge, maybe I would give the Fowler a little edge over the Race City 9. Then I'd say this gun is $6 grand, this gun is $4 grand. Right? 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 Is the Fowler $2 grand better than the Race City 9? No. No. We had a discussion about this before. I told you guys, I thought the Race City 9 was a little bit better, well made, a little bit better machine than, say, the Legion Precision Chiraq for comparable prices, for a comparable price. So I would probably lean in to the Race City 9 over my Chiraq. Although Legion Precision is back at it. Stand by. Legion Precision is about to come storming back. I felt like Legion Precision had came in and kind of smacked around everybody in the mid-tier, and then other people had a chance to catch up while Legion Precision was relocating from Chicago to Texas. But they're back, and they've got some new offerings coming. So I want to see where Legion Precision takes it. And there could be another Legion Precision coming into your boy's collection sooner than later. But so I would give the edge to the Race City 9 over my version of the Chiraq, and I would give the Fowler a little edge over the Race City 9, but not $2,000. So if you're about value, the Race City 9 is a better value. Legion Precision, slightly maybe better shooter. All right, fam, last but not least, you got your boys Combat Precision GT Darkhorse Edition, fam. This is the battle of the Titans. This is the battle of the Titans. This gun is comped and ported, probably a little bit more expensive than the Fowler. I think the GT by itself is right in that $6,500 range, and then you add the Darkhorse package to it, you add some significant dollars on it. But what a lot of people will say about Fowler is that Fowler is very comparable to Atlas. Now, I'll put up what the Fowler scored when I did the review, and I'll put up what the Darkhorse edition of the GT scored, so you can see them both up there. Let's talk about shootability. I think that shootability, these guns are probably somewhat comparable. But I would say that the fit and finish on the Combat Precision GT Darkhorse, Chris James did his thing. If this was just the GT against the Fowler, I would probably give the edge to the Fowler. And remember, I had this gun as a GT before I sent it back to Chris and had him do the Darkhorse package. I think the GT compared to the Fowler, I would give a little bit of edge to the Fowler. but with the Darkhorse edition, with the comps and the ports and all of the polishing work that Chris did to the Darkhorse, yeah, I'm giving the edge to the Darkhorse. This gun is just incredibly well made. I would put it up there with the best of the best of the best. But I would also put the Fowler up there. And so both of these guns land in an odd spot for me. A lot of people in the Fowler Discord would argue that Fowler should be talked about when you're talking about the Venoms of the world, when you're talking about the Raffertys of the world, when you're talking about the Hayes of the world, and when you're talking about the Atlas of the world, right? And the Infinities of the world. I don't know that that is true. I think it's borderline. Is it as good as some Atlas models? Maybe. Like, is the Vanta 9 as good as, say, the Apollo? Maybe. Maybe. Is the shorter version as good as the EOS? Maybe. I would say it's in the same ballpark. Is it better than the Erebus? No. No, it's not that. It's not that. Is it better than the Chaos? No, no. And that's the thing about Atlas. Where Atlas gets GOAT status to me is that they produce a broad line of 2011s. And in addition to that, they supply parts to a gang of people out. So Atlas gets a bump for that part of it. To me, that's what makes Atlas Atlas. Fowler can't lean back on that. Also, I give Atlas a little bump because they 100% manufacture all of their guns. And so, as does Combat Precision. So, look, fam, I think the Fowler is excellent. The question is, and I think it's probably reigning, that and Combat Precision are probably reigning supreme kind of over that mid-tier space. The question is, are they so good that we should be talking about them when we talk about the heavyweights? Well, look, I say, let's find out. You saw how Fowler matched up to the mid-tier. Let's run them. Let's run it up against an Apollo. Let's run it up against Venom. Let's run it up against a Hayes, right? Let's see. Let's see. I'm here for the smoke, and that video will be coming soon. All right? That's it for this episode, fam. Until next time, as always, take care of one another, and peace.